how much money did I make this week as a full-time trader in the stock market? Today, we're gonna hop on inside my trade journal and I'm gonna break down my entire week, showing you all of the trades that I took and hopefully getting you to the point at the end of the day so you could do this on your own. I came out of this week with $9,522 profit. My trade win percentage on the week was 69.23%. And I do want to say, if you don't know about risk management, if you don't know about trading as a whole, or just in general, realize that win rate is not a statistic that you take face value to decide or gauge whether someone is a consistently profitable trader or not. Some weeks or some days, I will have a 30 to 40% win rate, yet I will still be profitable, or some months. So it just comes down to risk management. It comes down to position sizing as a whole. With that said, how did I come out of this week with just about 10K, 5 figures, right, profit? Now, if I look at today specifically, I'm up $3,439.86. That is my net P&L after broker fees and commissions. 85.71% win rate on the day. You can see coming into the day, I actually had a swing trade on. Now, I want to say that this week, the view you're looking at, what I just showed you, my 9.5K profit, that is a combination of both day and swing trades taken solely from my software. Not looking at a chart, not doing any technical or fundamental analysis, simply clicking a few buttons. If you want to learn more about my software, I'll put a link in the description below to that video where I covered what it is, how it came to be, and how it is what I like to call my edge in the stock market. So I had a swing trade on. I entered ticker symbol SMCI yesterday before market close. I swung that into today. So I was only in this trade for about 20 minutes of active market hours. And I came out with a net P&L of $1,300 for a net ROI of 18.48%. If we want to look at this trade specifically, we can see kind of the breakdown. Obviously, I was just in one contract. These were puts. That's why it says short. I trade options if you didn't know. Got my average entry and my average exit. These were pretty expensive contracts. I only had one and it was $7,000, right? Just about $7,000 for that one contract. Now, I do want to say I trade with $500,000. I've started out this year very conservative when it comes to size. That is how I like to start all of my years as a trader. I start out the year with an initial starting balance. Each year, I slowly increase my account size overall. This is very small size in comparison to my account size as a whole, right? As I progress through the year, obviously it is the third week of February. January, I did little to no trading. I wasn't very active in the market. Especially moving into February, I started to get more active, and that's why I'm starting to post more like live trading updates and weekly recaps. But as we progress, if I continue to be green and to continue having the success that I have had this week, for example, I will slowly increase size and get comfortable with the size I'm trading, making sure that at the end of the day, with the intention in mind to build a cushion, I like starting the year out and building that cushion. So then I could start taking bigger risks and taking those risks in obviously a very calculated way through how I go about managing risk. Okay, that was the swing trade SMCI. I got into SPY puts. I got out of these very quick, obviously just taking a $500 loss or 11%. You can see it was a very, very quick trade. My entry and then my exit, unfortunately, not SPY puts, SPY calls. But I did take a minor loss on that position, trading a certain set of sweeps that came through on my software. Now, these were week out expiration contracts. Now, all of these trades did come from my software. I will be showing you within my software the trades, how I found them, specifically what that sweep, right? It's a sweep. That's what I call the orders that come through on my software. Well, what that sweep entailed and why I did go about taking that trade. But I'm not going to go through every single one. As you can see today, I did take 7 trades yesterday. We'll see how many I took, but we'd be here for a couple hours. But you can see I proceeded to trade SMCI with a $700 profit, NVIDIA with a $1,000 profit, another SMCI trade with 500, NVIDIA with 100, and then closing my morning session off with another 500 trade on SMCI. Now, if we go over to my software and I filter for sweeps that expire within 2 weeks, I'm doing a little back testing right now, trading, or I guess it's more forward testing, right? Because I'm actually live trading, forward testing what sweeps based off of the criteria behind that sweep are going to yield more profit. Now, that is obviously going to change day by day or week by week. From a day trading perspective, day trading solely based off the sweeps that come through the software, not looking at any technicals, any fundamentals. I am trading sweeps that expire within 2 weeks, and then obviously separating sweeps that expire the same week versus 2 weeks out to see if one set or the other actually are more profitable. And if I filter out ETFs, you can see the only 3 sweeps that came through today on individual names that expire within 2 weeks were SMCI and NVIDIA. Now that first SMCI sweep, 1022 SMCI 890 puts expiring March 1st for just about 1.4 million. Now this order came in at 1022. I went ahead and bought up the same set of contracts and got filled at 1024. You can see my entry here and my exit coming out of this trade with a net ROI of just about 10%, only obviously in with one contract. Trading smaller size, as I mentioned. You could see the next sweep that came through were NVIDIA puts, 300,000 on the 805 puts expiring today, right? Today is the 23rd. This individual behind this sweep got filled at $1,245 per contract. Now I came in, bought up the same set of contracts. I actually got a little better fill and ended up walking out with 41% returns on that trade, $1,000 net P&L. You could see my entry. And then just about a minute after, we got a nice pullback. I ended up locking in profit. So yes, I made $1,000. This individual theoretically could have made about 120 grand if he got out when I did. And then you can see our second SMCI sweep of the day. Now, trading NVIDIA and SMCI, I did come out with the majority of the profit. SMCI, another 500 on SMCI, $100 on NVIDIA, another 500 on SMCI. So that is going to wrap up my session today. I'm not trading anymore. Obviously, it is Friday. Now, if we go back to a weekly view this week, I could give you a couple more breakdowns. Obviously, I did have a nice $5,000 trade, which was very substantial on some Amazon sweeps that came through. It was for a cost basis of $4 million on the Amazon March 15th, 167.50 calls. Ended up entering that position. You could see before market close, that was a swing trade. Amazon gapped up after market on news that they were just added to the Dow. And then you can see my exit, okay, the following day, okay? So that was a great swing trade. I did make a full video breaking down that trade specifically. I had a good amount of trades in the range of $1,000 to about $1,500. You could see a $1,500 trade on SMCI. I was pretty active trading SMCI this week. $1,000 trade on ticker symbol CRWD. Now, this one, if I added the sweep here, you can see was on the 21st. CRWD calls came through, $1 million in size right behind this sweep expiring. These are pretty far out. January 16th, 2026, the 290 calls. I went ahead, bought up these same exact contracts. You can see my entry here, and then this obviously was a swing trade, which I closed the next day. Now, the distinction, obviously, when it comes to day and swing trading, knowing that all of these trades are purely based off the software, this week, 7.3K on the week. I have not lost a swing trade. I have a 100% win rate on my software swing trades. And when it comes to the setups, obviously I have to tidy up my bookkeeping a bit, but 2 of these setups were sweeps over $1 million. And now if we look at just software day trades, 2.1K profit on the week. So obviously on the week, my software swing trades have been a whole lot more profitable. I have a 60% win rate on my day trades. Now, where was the money this week? Obviously, we can see that when you look at the swing trades I took, 7.3K profit, a 100% win rate, versus the day trades I took, 2.1K profit, 60% win rate. We could see there was some more money to be made this week swing trading the sweeps. But when it comes to the criteria behind the sweep, we can look at my playbook to see which set of sweeps, looking at the criteria, taking into consideration what I like to call risk and certainty, those go hand in hand. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So we could see the 2 swing trades that I did take were greater than $1 million. So the cost basis behind that sweep was greater than $1 million. Okay, you could see my net cumulative P&L, and then those 2 trades, 24% net ROI and 5% net ROI, Amazon and CRWD. Again, looking at the sweep itself, which I screenshotted from the software, $1 million in cost. Okay, so looking at this sweep specifically, we can see that yes, there is a substantial amount of size cost, but knowing options, the further out the expiration date or the further in the money, inherently those contracts are safer, whereas the closer the expiration date and the further out of the money, inherently those contracts are riskier. So, this sweep as a whole, I would say kind of has found that middle ground where we've got large cost size, but pretty conservative contracts. Whereas we look at Amazon, and Amazon, you could see we have very large cost size, and the expiration date is within a month out. So we can see this is a very aggressive order and a very inherently risky order, but someone putting $4 million on a set of contracts that expire within a month out clearly has a lot of certainty behind that position. Obviously, this trade worked out very well in our favor. Again, I'm going to try to continue explaining to you in these videos how I actually utilize the software, how I trade using this edge that I have in the market. But you can see I did make 6,000 on the $1 million+ sweeps and then 1.3K on the less than $1 million sweeps. Obviously, that one SMCI trade with a net ROI of 18%. Now, when it comes to the software day trades I took this week, we can really see where the money was at. The very profitable set of sweeps were the ones that expired within a week out. So inherently a lot of risk, right? Without looking at that sweep specifically and looking at the cost basis behind it to, gauge that certainty, we just know that these contracts were intended to be day trades. No one's going to be holding a contract that expires that same week overnight. 90% of the time, I'd say, just due to theta, due to how options move. Theta is time decay, and if you're buying contracts that expire that same week, just holding those over one night could potentially cost upwards of 50, 60 to even 90% of that contract's value, depending on what day it is, right? So if it's Thursday and you're buying contracts that expire tomorrow, those are going to cost virtually 90% of that entire contract's worth just to hold overnight. So we could see this week, I had an 85.71% win rate on that specific set of sweeps with a net P&L of 3.7K. So I'm very happy with this week. If we look at my report, you can see, obviously, this is just from February 18th to February 23rd, a 4-day week. I would have loved to see 12 to 13,000 profit with that extra day to trade, but that is okay. You can see the amount of money that I did make on each day, and then you can see my daily net cumulative P&L. Okay, so if you're curious about, my average daily P&L or any other stats, my largest loss you can see was 700. Total commissions was 200. Total number of trades was 13. Winning trades 9. Losing trades 4. I had 5 wins in a row, 2 losses in a row. My average hold time on my winning trades was 6 hours, and my average hold time on my losing trades was 20 minutes. So cut your losers fast, right? Get out of your losers fast, let your winners run. That's what you should take away from that. And then my trade expectancy on the week, right? That's just based off of how many trades I took. On average, per trade, I made $700. And then here's just kind of an overview of obviously what we just looked at within my playbook, the different setups. When I say setup, I'm talking about the sweep criteria specifically in this case. So performance by setups, trade distribution by setups. Now, I will be posting much more. I'd love to do some live trading and just keeping you guys filled in on how I'm doing in the market. So if you are interested in learning how to trade in the stock market, in becoming a consistently profitable trader, or you just simply want to copy my exact trades, as I do post my entries and my exits. Not for every single trade I take, as I do a lot of back testing, but when I find a setup to be profitable, I will add that in. I will trade that on my main portfolio, which you have access to see inside the private Discord server in my mentorship group, so you can follow along and copy myself if you so desire. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. I can just share with you what I'm doing in the market. Now, if you did enjoy this video, if you want to see what my year is going to look like, and if you, again, are interested in my mentorship group, you can click the link in the description below to apply. Now, with that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Later.